And we are live. What's going on, guys? Hopefully you're all doing well. Hopefully you enjoyed the weekend's boxing. Plenty to talk about, I guess. Plenty to talk about. Got some good fights coming up this weekend. White Povetkin, obviously. Great fight. Elidia Alvarez versus Joe Smith Jr. Another good fight. Even the return of Sergio Martinez. What more can you want? What more can you want? Yeah, big up to Dominic Chechery. He's already here. Hopefully you're doing well, man. Hopefully you're doing well. Yeah, man. Dominic, you're one of the first in all the time, bro. Always in. Always in. Glass of water. Wet the old whistle. Anyway, yeah, interesting weekend of boxing, man. That's just gone. I'll be honest. The fight that really pissed me off, obviously, was Romero versus Jackson Marinas. One of the worst robberies I've seen in quite some time. I mean, I think I gave Romero 3 rounds. I think it was round 1, round 6, and I forgot the other round. I gave him 3 rounds. It was clear he lost that fight, man. He was getting boxed up. He was getting pieced up with the jab. His volume was far too low. Looking for one shot at a time. Very monotonous, stiff. No imagination in his work. He just got outboxed. There's no way in hell he won that fight, but somehow he gets the decision. You know, absolutely embarrassing. Those scorecards were terrible. Was it Mark Lombardi, whatever his name was, the judge? He had it 118-110 to Romero. I mean, he gave Jackson Marinas 2 rounds. That's insane. That's insane, man. But big up to Jay Bilo, the Troll Network, Danilo D. Big up to you guys, man. Danilo D, he says, White Povetkin hasn't been an upset in a while now. Yeah. I mean, White Povetkin to me is now very, very interesting, you know. First and foremost, mainly due to the build-up to this fight in regards to Dillian White. He's had a lot to really get himself distracted with, you know, changing trainer, the verbals of Tyson Fury, the whole WBC situation. You know, Dillian White has had a lot to contend with out of a ring. Will that take his focus away against Povetkin? If it does, Povetkin is going to be very dangerous. You know, you can't take your eye off the ball against Povetkin. Even a 41-year-old Povetkin, he's still dangerous, especially early on when he's fresh, when he's powerful. You know, the guy punches very hard. Great timing, excellent left hook. You know, Dillian makes mistakes. He throws himself off balance. He can get hit. You know, Povetkin is a very risky... Fuck's sake. There you go. Yeah, Povetkin's a very risky assignment. He really is, man. He really is. He can crack. He can crack. Yo, Mr. Doc in the chat. Big up to Mr. Doc. Dominic Chechery, he's saying he didn't watch any fights this weekend, but I'm so gassed. Shannon lost. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Shannon Courtney, to be honest, Dominic. He said, Dominic saying White versus Povetkin's 50-50. Yeah, I think it's a good fight, to be honest. I think it's a solid fight. Povetkin's not the fighter he was. I think we can all acknowledge that. But I wouldn't say he's a shot fighter either. You know, the Michael Hunter fight, who's arguably a top 10 heavyweight, that was a very close fight. We know Povetkin can still operate at fringe top 10 level. He's good enough to do that, right? And, you know, Dillian White is a different stylistic proposition than Michael Hunter. He's not as quick, he's not as mobile, but he hits harder, he's stronger. So the opportunities could be there for Povetkin to land big shots. It's how White responds to it, really. You know, I'm picking White on points, but I really wouldn't be shocked if we see an upset here. I wouldn't be shocked, to be honest. Good fight, though. Good fight. Yeah, Jack Cullen versus Zach Chelly's on the undercard, and Babic versus Winters is now done as well. Yeah, Jack Cullen versus Zach Chelly. That should be a fun little domestic fight at 168, I believe. Good little fight there. And Babic versus Winters. Listen, Babic is only, 3-0 as a heavyweight. And Shaundell Winters, man, he did okay against Joseph Parker in stages. I think that's a good step up for Alan Babic, to be honest. I think that's a good step up. Oh, Christ. Unrivaled boxing talk and news. Trust him to come in here and kill my mood. Canelo versus Yildirim for the vacant WBC title. Stay tuned. I wouldn't be surprised, bro. I really wouldn't be surprised. Dominic Chetchery, he looks identical to Jack Cullen, laugh out loud. I'm not sure what boxer I look like or what boxer more closely resembles me. I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm not sure. Cavanide, Povetkin ices White. It could happen, bro. It could happen. I don't think anybody here would be shocked if Povetkin caught White. Nobody would be shocked. You know, White's been hurt numerous times. He's been dropped. Parker dropped him. Rivas dropped him. Helenius hurt him. Joshua knocked him out. You know, the guy's been hurt. He makes mistakes defensively. You know, if he tries to box with Povetkin, I think that's the worst thing he can do. He needs to really try and push Povetkin back. Don't give him space, smother him, work the body, and make him feel like the 41-year-old that he is. He needs to make it a real rough, hard-paced fight. That's what he needs to do, in my opinion. Make him uncomfortable and then break him up. Don't give Povetkin time and space to leap in with that left hook or counter Dillian coming in. You know, Dillian needs to get on his chest and work. Dillian can fight on the inside quite effectively for a heavyweight. You know, he's got nice uppercuts through the middle. He can work the body from up close. He's a good little inside fighter, White. He's not bad. He's not bad at all. Yeah, ABC Def. Yeah, that Romero decision, man. I felt so sorry for Jackson Marinas. So sorry for that guy, man. Insane. On Rival Boxing Talk and News, he says I look like Tommy Langford mixed with Luke Campbell equals Dell. That's not too bad, I guess. I can kind of see what you're saying. I can kind of see it. Andre, good question. Who would you like to see Oscar Rivas fight? To be honest, Andre, I don't mind the fight that was proposed, and that was Carlos Takam. You know, two shorter heavyweights. Both guys are fairly aggressive. Both guys can box a bit. I think that's a decent little fight, to be honest. I think Rivas wins, but I think it's a good comeback fight for him. I still think Rivas has a few good fights in him in the division. He's an interesting fighter, very explosive. Got a great left hook on him, really good left hook. Rivas Takam seems nice. Frank the French, yes, Del, where's my winnings from fantasy football? Oh, you won it. Yo, big up to Frank, man. I never knew you won it, bro. I stopped playing as soon as lockdown hit in, man. I just stopped playing, man. I was winning my work one as well, you know, and I just fucking stopped playing. So I lost that. I might try and sort you out, Frank. I might try and sort you out. Sosa, Floyd judges then for Rowley, yeah. Yeah, I mean, there are fights, yeah, where I feel the judges make the wrong decision, but I can see where the mistake came from. That's one of those fights. Romero versus Marinas is one of those fights where there's no way Romero won. He was getting out-jabbed for the vast majority of the fight. He was being outlanded in the vast majority of rounds. I mean, what did he do to win that fight? Throwing one shot at a time and missing with low volume? I mean, I gave Rolly Romero, I think it was, like I said, 3 rounds. I think it was first round, 6th round, and I think it was a later round. He didn't win that fight. Simple as that. The WBA need to do the right thing. They need to order an immediate rematch. Sanctioning bodies can do that in controversial circumstances. The IBF did it with Carl Froch and George Groves, obviously, in that rematch. They mandated it because of the controversy. The WBA need to do the same thing in this fight. That's what's right. If Jackson Marinas doesn't get this rematch, then I think that's a travesty, to be honest. An absolute travesty. You know, that guy went in there as an unknown. And if he got that decision that he deserved, you know, his career is looking perky, man. He could get some good fights for good money. But now, all that's gone, maybe. It's crazy. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. Yeah, I know you're joking, Frank, man. I'll tell you what, next season, I think that's a good idea, though, Frank. We could do another fantasy football league, but we'll have a little prize up for grabs. That's a good little idea, you know. That's a good little idea. Maybe like £100 prize. That might be okay, you know. Yeah, Papin versus Fafer on Rival. Yep, that's another good fight. We've got Papin versus Fafer, White Povetkin, Smith versus Alvarez. Great weekend for boxing. But you missed out of a return of Sergio Martinez. How could you, man? How could you? I agree, Andre. Romero's power is overrated too. Yeah, his power really wasn't doing all that much against Marinas when he landed. Marinas never really looked seriously hurt or in trouble. He was just really coasting, you know, boxing well, doing his thing, and got robbed, man. Got robbed. Sosa, he says, Del Boy, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being close, 10 being wide, what would you score the robbery? I think it's a 10, bro. I think it's a 10. I honestly feel it was that bad. I think it's one of the worst robberies I've seen for a long while. One of the worst I've seen for a long, long while. You know, just another black eye for the sport, unfortunately. MB, robbery aside, what do you make of Jackson Marinas? He looks strong, big for the weight, moves his feet. Yeah, nice jab, good movement, good distance control. Looks like a solid technical boxer. I'm not going to go too overboard, to be honest, because I never rated Riley Romero anyway, to be honest. I never really rated him. But, you know, he looks okay. He looks solid. Maybe could be a good fringe contender, that sort of fighter. But yeah, the thing for me, man, is just how he got robbed, man. It really pissed me off. It really pissed me off. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Hot Stepper. This is how lives are ruined and careers. Yep, Hot Stepper. There's a guy. I'm not sure whether you're from the UK or America, but there's a fighter in the UK called Daryl Williams, and he fought a guy called Zach Parker, and he got blatantly robbed in that fight, man. And after that fight, he just basically packed it in, man. He couldn't cope with it. You know, put him in a really bad way. If he got that decision, his career, man, would have been looking up. He would have got a big money fight. He would have been highly ranked in the WBA, and that was stolen from him. You know, these are thousands and thousands of pounds at stake. You know, maybe that's the difference, you know, from him, you know, buying a house and being set up for life and having a good life for himself. It's crazy. It's crazy. Jay Bilo, okay, we've got talks on 1,000 day mandatory, new trainer, Fury vacating. Yeah, exactly. This fight's a real test for White. Povetkin will come prepared and unfazed. Yep. Alexander Povetkin is the consummate professional. You know, the guy's he's never ruffled. He doesn't get distracted. He's a professional. Like Mark said, the guy's like a fucking serial killer. He's like a hitman. And, you know, that guy, he's going to go in there to do business. If White doesn't have his eye on the ball, he could be upset. He could be upset. And skill for skill, I'll be honest with you guys. Skill for skill, if we're taking out the ages and all that shit, a best version of Povetkin is levels above Dillian White, in my opinion. So he needs to be careful. He needs to be careful. Yeah, big up to Copend09. Big up to Copend09. Copend09, he says, at least Rowley called for the rematch. People like Sean Porter and especially Danny Garcia wanted no parts of running back their controversial fights. Yeah, I've seen contrasting reports on that, though, Copend. I've seen him say that he would give him a rematch, but I've also seen him say that Marinas never really did anything, so he's not too fussed about giving him a rematch. So I'm not sure what's true, but hopefully he does. I think he realizes that he got away with that one, and I think he realizes that the fans are pissed off, and we want to see it again. Hopefully he does it, bro. Hopefully he does it. Yeah, Daryl Williams, Zach Parker was Pacquiao Bradley bad. Yeah, that was terrible, MB. That was terrible. Yeah, okay, Hot Steppers from London. We're from Luton, bro. Luton round here, man. Yep, Williams Parker was disgraceful. Disgraceful. Oh, nice one, Minimax. Big up to Minimax Boxing, by the way. He's uploading a video where I talked about the Daryl Williams fight. Hasn't been posted yet, but great timing. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, Madrimov, yeah. Madrimov, what a fight with Eric Walker, by the way. How tough is Eric Walker? My man got knocked out and still went the decision. He was doing some really good work as well, man. He buzzed Madrimov a couple of times. You know, he was boxing well early on, but eventually Madrimov took over and got the job done. Interesting reaction to this fight. People are saying Madrimov got exposed. He's a hype job, maybe. I mean, listen, it was his sixth fight. It certainly, you know, showed the flaws in his game. But I think there's enough natural talent there. There's enough raw potential there for him to be a very good fighter. The thing is with Madrimov, in my opinion, he's a guy who uses a lot of unnecessary movement and, you know, lunging in with shots, really loading up on every shot. He needs to calm it down a bit, you know, keep a better shape, be a bit more cautious in regards to, you know, letting his hands go, you know, pay more attention to defense. I think the guy can still go a very long way. You know, you're not a successful amateur for nothing. So I think he'll do okay still. I think that fight will do him the world of good. You know, many prospects over the years they've had rough nights and they've gone on to be really, really good fighters. I wouldn't rule out Madrimov. The guy's clearly got ability and talent. Unrivaled Boxing Talking News. I'm so confused by the PBC Charlo card. We have Neri versus Almeida, Roman versus Payano, and we have Casemiro versus a bum. Why not Casemiro versus Payano and Neri versus Roman? Imagine that card, Del. Exactly unrivaled. They've got it the fucking wrong way round. Especially Roman versus Neri, man. That's a great fight, bro. That's a great fight. Mimune versus McKenna, that was terrible as well, Nathan. Yeah, that's a good shout. That's a good shout, you know. Mimune versus McKenna. Yeah, that was horrible. That was blatant corruption as well. I mean, they was trying to set up that O'Hara Davis Tyro McKenna fight from day one, basically. Terrible. What's more corrupt? Boxing or A levels? Fuck knows, mate. Both the same level at the minute. Ah, look at St. Brit Sports coming in. He's coming in the chat talking shit. Sevilla. Man, Sevilla. Fuck off, Sevilla. Get out of here, man. Yeah, we lost last night. Yeah. Fucking crazy shit, man. Yeah, he's fighting Duke Mika, Nathan Casemiro. Duke Mika, he's got a good record on paper, but he's fought absolutely nobody. Maybe he's a diamond in the rough. I've not really seen too much of him, so I can't judge. But, you know, I trust Mark's opinion on that one, to be honest. I've not seen the BT card, Nathan. All I've seen on BT is the Frampton fight. I saw that, but apart from that, I've not seen any of the other fights. Not seen any of them. But I'd agree, though, with Unrivaled. Yeah, ABC, yeah. Madrimov is very raw. He's very raw. He wastes a lot of energy, man. Sorry, my throat is dodgy as hell today. But yeah, he wastes a lot of energy. He loads up needlessly at times. He, you know, he throws a lot of shots, a lot of unnecessary movement, foot movement. But he can get better. He can get better. And yeah, Boxing Virus, his balance, you're right. Yep. Against a good, solid counterpuncher, you know, he could get taken apart. I mean, we saw that against Eric Walker. There was times when Eric was countering him very effectively, taking advantage of Madrimov's balance, and also the fact that he comes in very square on at times. And yeah, Eric Walker was really doing a good job of taking advantage of that at times. And by the way, Eric Walker, he I think he served 13 years in prison, and he learned to box in prison. And for him to be that good, that's quite impressive, you know. That's quite impressive. Fair play to the guy. And the guy's tough as nails, like I said. One of the only guys to get knocked out and still go the distance. That's impressive, man. He's a tough old boy. Tough dude, man. How about Gyasov, Del? What's your opinions on him? Solid technical boxer, good punch technique, good timing, good counter puncher. You know, just a solid all-round prospect. I'm not sure how he reacts to pressure, ABC Def, because I'm not sure whether you've seen the Emmanuel Taylor fight, but in that fight, he struggled quite badly. He got buzzed. And yeah, Emmanuel Taylor was doing a good job of roughing him up. Now, maybe that's just one of those poor performances, but we shall see. We shall see. Mr. Doc, the break helped Madrimov more than the old man. Before the knockdown, Madrimov was fading horribly. Yeah, you are right, you know, Mr. Doc. You are right. And I'm not sure whether that is a stamina problem or just the fact that this guy loads up on everything. He loads up on everything. You know, it was like he was fucking throwing baseball pitches in there at times, the way he was punching, jumping in. I think it's more down to his style. A lot of movement, a lot of lunging, a lot of explosive power shots. I think it's just his stamina conservation more than his actual stamina, to be honest. And by the way, lads, smash the like, be much appreciated. Much appreciated. Yeah, I've seen the name Duke Mika around for years, MB, but I've not really seen too much of him, to be honest. I've not seen too much of him. By the way, lads, Michael Nunn's making a return end of this month, I believe. He's fighting in a pro ring against Samuel Clarkson. Samuel Clarkson, the highest level he's fought was against Dimitri Bivol, and that was for an interim WBA light heavyweight title. Samuel Clarkson is not a great fighter, but Michael Nunn is 56 years old, bro. He's 56 years old, and he's fighting a solid pro in his 20s. That's insane to me. How that got sanctioned, I will never know. I will never know. I made a video on Michael Nunn versus Pat Miletich. That was like an exhibition kickboxing match against another old guy. I've got no problem with that. But Michael Nunn fighting a young, strong guy like Samuel Clarkson, recipe for disaster. That's got disaster written all over it, man. Crazy shit, man. It's crazy. Oh shit, Inter Milan are 5-0 up. Jesus. Christ almighty. Did you see UFC 252? I only saw Stipe versus DC. Good little fight, actually. Good fight. Stipe the deserved winner. Stipe the deserved winner. Joe Jackson, what do you think of Liam Williams versus Demetrius Andrade? Solid little fight. Liam Williams, interesting one. I've seen a lot of hype for Liam Williams. Now, obviously post Liam Smith, he looks like he's improved. However, we have to consider the level of competition he's been facing hasn't been stellar. So it's hard to gauge just how much he has improved, to be honest. In an ideal world, I would like to see Liam Williams have an interim fight before Andrade against like a fringe world level fighter, someone like Selecki, someone like Rosado, guys along this level. If we see Liam Williams against these guys and he does a number on them, I think we can safely say he's improved. But right now, I still think the jury is out, to be honest. I still think the jury is out. Yeah, that is true, Padger. Madrimov's posture looks so much like Golovkin's, yeah. Golovkin is so much more balanced, though, so much more poised and calm in the ring, Madrimov just seems a little gung-ho at times. Don't get me wrong, man. Madrimov, I'll tell you what, there's not many more fighters in boxing right now who are as exciting as Madrimov. He's very exciting. I'll say that much. I'll say that much. Yeah, Williams versus Rosado. Yeah, exactly, St. Britt. That's a good fight. Big up to L-Dog in the chat. Big up to L-Dog. Yeah, Unrivaled Boxing Talking News. He says he learned Melakuziev is the best Uzbek. Yep. I would say Melakuziev's number one right now. I would say that. Yeah, big up to Big Boys Boxing as well, man. He says, I find it interesting that the doctors let Walker continue after being knocked out like that. Pretty dangerous. Yeah, that was potentially very dangerous, what happened in that fight, sorry. Something bad could have happened there. So just thank God, I guess, Eric Walker's okay. But yeah, that guy, man, he showed some fucking balls on him, man. He showed some balls. I'll tell you that much. Unrivaled Boxing Talking News. Was Madrimov versus Walker a fight of the year contender? I think so. I'll tell you what, it had a lot of ingredients. A controversial moment, a knockdown, back and forth moments, big punches, exchanges. It had it all, really. I mean, it's up there. It's got to be up there. Very good fight, man. Very good fight. L-Dog, what are your thoughts on Paulo Costa versus Israel Adesanya? That's going to be a war, in my opinion. I've not seen too much of Paulo Costa, to be honest. For MMA, I am impressed with Israel's striking. Nice distance control, nice timing. Pretty powerful guy for a guy who's that skinny. He can hurt you. So I don't know. From what I've seen of Paulo, he's like an explosive fighter. I think I could see Israel Adesanya kind of timing him coming in, maybe knocking him out, to be honest. I could see him knocking him out. Yeah, exactly, Mr. Doc. Yep, let the old guys fight each other. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If these old guys like Michael Nunn, Roy Jones, Mike Tyson want to fight, they need to fight each other. Other old guys have like a senior tour, like they do in golf or tennis, like a senior fighting circuit. That's what I would say. Because people will still pay to watch them, in my opinion. Like, people are always going to pay to watch like a Mike Tyson and people like that. People would still watch it. Yeah, exactly, Andre. Costa gases all that muscle mass. Yeah. Yeah. He's a tough dude, though, Paulo Costa. I did see his fight with Yoel Romero. That was a good fight. He showed some good bottle in that fight, man. Some good toughness. Yeah, Nathan, Zelfa Barrett versus Eric Donovan was a really good fight. I had Eric Donovan winning until the stoppage. Zelfa Barrett did really well to pull that out. Excellent left hook finish, man. One of the best knockouts I've seen for a while. Really good left hook. Really good left hook. Yes, Israel Gonzalez versus Cal Yafai. That was a robbery, unrivaled. Yep. That was terrible. That was in Monaco, wasn't it? Terrible, man. Terrible. Del, who do you think... Oh, hang on, MB. Del, who do you think they're going to get for Dubois now that Eric Pfeiffer is out? I never knew Eric Pfeiffer was even out, MB, so that's news to me. I mean, what are we now? About just under 2 weeks away from that date? I mean, who can you get in this time period? It has to be like a European opponent, I guess. I mean, Jesus. I'm not even sure who's out there. I wouldn't be surprised, if they chuck someone like Nick Webb in there. I really wouldn't be surprised. From the UK, easy to access. Maybe someone like Nick Webb, believe it or not. It's not going to be anybody decent at this stage. It's not going to be anybody decent. Big up to Matt. Big up to Matt. Thank you for joining, man. Thank you for joining. Yep, Nathan, I agree. Archie Sharp should fight Anthony Kakache. He's not ready for world level, in my opinion. I agree, Nathan. And I also think Anthony Kakache would actually beat Archie Sharp. I think he would beat Sharp. I don't rate Sharp. I never have. Another one of these guys, man, a lot of excessive movement. He tries to look like flashy and flamboyant, but I don't think what he does is all that effective, to be honest. I really don't. I don't think he's that great at all. Yes, L-Dog. That's the fight we need right here, the Fujimoto rematch. Give it, for the fans, as Frank Warren would say. For the fans. Gloves up boxing, he's saying Dave Allen. Listen, I'm not really keen on seeing Dave Allen fight again. If he does fight, I'd rather see someone who can put him away, to be honest. I'd rather see someone who's going to put him away. So I wouldn't be too mad at that, to be honest. I wouldn't be too mad. Yeah, big up to AA Boxing and Blunts, man. Hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully you're doing well. Yeah, I recall that boxing virus. Yep, Canelo was supposed to fight Paul Williams or Victor Ortiz. Who would have won if those fights happened back then? Oh, Canelo would have beaten both of them, even in 2012, I would say. I think Paul Williams at that time was on the downward slide, to be honest. I think he was on the downslide, and Canelo would always beat Victor Ortiz. Yep, Sosa, yep. McKenna versus Mamune, another bad robbery, awful. Unrivaled Boxing Talk and News. He wants to see Michael Conlon versus Akhmadaliev. Get that anorexic Dave Allen off my screen. Yeah, I'm not sold on Michael Conlon. He's one of these guys, like I said, I just think he's one of those fighters in which suits the amateur game far better. I've just not been that impressed. I see moments of quality, but it's too far, few and far in between. He never really puts it together for me. I've never seen Michael Conlon fight, and I've never thought to myself, oh, that was impressive. Never with Michael Conlon. They're going to try and maneuver that guy into an easy world title. That's what they're trying to do. And once he's got a world title, then they'll look at cashing him out. But yeah, he's not going to be stepped up anytime soon, no matter what his team say. He's not going to be stepped up yet. I wouldn't pick him to beat Emmanuel Leo or Stephen Fulton, to be honest. Yeah, Nathan, that's a very good shout. Otto Wallin versus Dominic Brazil or Charles Martin would be good fights, in my opinion. Yep, I'd take those fights. The fight I would like to see the most, actually, is Otto Wallin versus Robert Helenius. Two Nordic fighters. I think that's a good fight. That's a good fight. Yeah, Wallin versus Kalnacki. That's another one. Yep. Big Boys is saying a rematch with Latte. Yeah, that guy actually tried to fight, to be fair. He went in there, gave it a go, landed a good left hook. Gave Dubois a few problems here and there. Yes, that's a good shout, Matt. Kamil Sakalowski, yep, he could be in there with Dubois. Sakalowski, he's always going to fight anybody, He's reliable. He'll give it a go. He's fairly aggressive. Yep, I could see that. I could see that. Yes, Mr. Doc, the Lara fight. I think they scored that a draw, didn't they? The Arislandi Lara fight against Paul Williams. Yeah. That was a robbery as well. Yeah, that was a bad robbery. It's crazy. Was it a draw or did Paul Williams get the decision? I forget now. I think it was a draw. No, actually, I can have a look at this. It's been so long now. I've not seen that fight since the time, believe it or not. I've not seen it since the time. Paul Williams. Let's have a look. I'm going to have a look at this to have a look. I swear it was a draw. Maybe I'm wrong. I know he beat Lara. He actually got the decision. Jesus. Yeah, come on. Dave Allen's a nice guy, so you have to watch his fights. Yeah, he's got banter. Del boy, he's got banter. Yeah. Fuck off, man. Dave Allen. Jesus Christ. Conlon versus Galahad. I think Galahad pieces him up, to be honest with you. Gloved up boxing. I think he pieces him up. Jack Cullen versus Zach Chelly is on a pay-per-view card, Del. Any thoughts? Good fight? Yeah, it's a good fight. It's a good domestic scrap. Jack Cullen, man, he's always going to be in fun fights. Zach Chelly's quite aggressive, so that'll be a fun fight. Should it be on a pay-per-view card? Probably not. Otto Wallin would give White problems. Potentially with his boxing early on, if he can keep range. But if Dillian gets inside, I think he beats up Wallin, to be honest. I really do. I think Wallin could box and give Dillian problems, but once White gets up close, I think it's pretty much a wrap in that one. Yep, Jay Belo, Dennis McCann, in my opinion, is the best prospect in British boxing. The best prospect in UK boxing right now, Dennis McCann. In my opinion, I think he looks very good. He's getting a lot of comparisons to Prince Nazim. That's a hell of a comparison. So we'll see where he goes. But knocking out Brett Fido is no easy feat. I know Brett Fido's got a terrible record, but the guy's a solid journeyman, never gets knocked out. And Dennis McCann cleaned him out. So that's a good win, that is. That's a good statement. Yes, bring Kevin Johnson back over. He's in Germany this weekend. Yeah, Kevin Johnson is fighting Juan Pablo Hernandez, who I used to really like back in the day. He was a cruiserweight champion. I think he was IBF. Yeah, he was IBF champion. He beat Steve Cunningham a couple of times. He beat Thera Arslan as well. I think it was Alexeyev as well. He beat a few fighters. Juan Pablo Hernandez was a good technician with good power and a dodgy chin. That's what he was. But he was a good fighter. He was a good fighter, man. Has Dillian fought a southpaw yet? I'm trying to think, I'm trying to think. None of his recent fights have been southpaws. I know that much. Not for a while, Copend. Not for a while. Sokolovsky only just boxed, though. He would be out quick. I reckon Webb's more possible. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Nick Webb is the opponent for Daniel Dubois. Really wouldn't be surprised. Oh, they scored it wide for Williams. Yeah, that was it. I just saw it on BoxRec, Mr. Doc. For some reason, I had it a draw in my mind. I think that was because of the Molina fight. I think I was getting confused. Boxing Virus. Callum Smith versus Daniel Jacobs. Who have you got? Chat and Dell. I'll be honest. I've not been impressed with Callum Smith for quite some time. And I wasn't impressed with Daniel Jacobs against Chavez Jr. I thought he was struggling with the size of Chavez, actually, until he quit. Do you know what? I might actually pick Callum Smith, believe it or not. I can't believe I'm saying that. But I think I'll pick Callum Smith. I think he's too big, too strong. Like Carl Froch was for Golovkin, as he said. Too big, too strong. Angulo versus Truax in an eliminator. Jesus Christ. At 168. Do you know what? The sad thing is, Nathan, on its own, that's a fun little fight. That should be one of those undercard fights which doesn't really have any implication on the division, but it's just there to fill the card. A fun little fight. That's what it should be. The fact that that's an eliminator is a joke. Absolute joke. Dominic is picking Jacobs to beat Smith. Yeah, I can see that. My only thing was I really wasn't impressed with Jacobs against Chavez Jr. I didn't think he carried the weight that well. He was pushing with his punches. Didn't look as quick. I don't know, man. I'm not convinced about Jacobs at 168. And I did rate Danny Jacobs at 160. The New Jersey Athletic Commission actually punished the judges of a Williams-Lara fight. Interesting. That certainly needs to go on more in boxing. You know, these various jurisdictions and not sanctioning bodies, but these athletic commissions, you know, they do need to start looking at judges and actually reprimanding them, maybe suspending them for like a period of time if they really badly fuck up, you know, and maybe every year they need to be reviewed. Their scorecards need to be reviewed and, you know, make the decisions from there kind of thing. There needs to be something where these judges are held to account because, you know, these guys, they could completely ruin a guy's life one weekend by robbing him. And the next weekend, these guys are still judging fights. You know, these guys don't suffer any repercussions for the most part for when they fuck up. And they do need to be held to account, in my opinion. But there we go. There we go. So I don't know why people are talking about AJ versus White for undisputed. Povetkin is going to ice Dillian. Damn. It's possible, Sosa. It's possible. I mean, people are really underrating Povetkin going into this fight. They're writing him off. Nobody's talking about Povetkin, really. It's all about the politics, you know. It's about White Joshua, White Fury, White WBC. That's all the talk. There's not much talk about Povetkin. You know, are Team White taking Povetkin lightly? If they are, then, man, that'll be a very bad mistake. I would watch that fight, Boxing Virus. That's got brain damage written all over it. David Lemieux versus Alfredo Angulo. That's got brain damage written all over it. Sign me up, man. Sign me up. I've got a soft spot for Alfredo Angulo, to be honest. I like that guy. Always comes to fight, man. He's got a good story as well. He's got a good story. Yeah, Otto Wallin is a tough one to gauge. He looks decent, but he needs to fight other top contenders, guys around a similar level. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Nathan. You know, guys like Dominic Breazeale, Robert Helenius, Kalnacki, these sort of guys, in my opinion, will be good tests for Otto Wallin. That'll be good tests. I do like some of the things Otto Wallin does. You know, he's got a good jab, he's got decent feet, nice high guard. You know, he's got good solid fundamentals, but he doesn't really have much power. He doesn't really sit into his punches that often. So I do get the feeling when this guy steps up to top 10 level, he is going to be overwhelmed. But below that, I think this guy could give people a few problems. Otto Wallin, the jury is out. Yeah, McCann, I agree, Nathan. I like the look of McCann. That sounds wrong, doesn't it? Not Maddie. Dennis, I'm talking about. Oh, Christ. Big Dan, Dennis McCann is going to win world titles and he's going to make multiple title defenses, calling it here. I wouldn't be surprised, Big Dan. I wouldn't be surprised. He looks very, very exciting. Yeah, Boxing Virus. Josh Kelly was called the British Roy Jones, the British Lomachenko, all this nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Josh Kelly, in my opinion, he'll top out at European level. Nothing wrong with that, but yeah, I think people realise he's not going to get to where the hype was. I think people realise that now. You know, when he turned pro, there was a lot of hype with Josh Kelly, a lot of hype, and it's kind of died now over here. Yep, that was a robbery, Dominic. Yep, bro, I always fall so far behind on these chats. You know, I always fucking get really far behind on these chats. Fuck me. We need to get better at this shit, lads. Jesus Christ. We need to get better. Yeah, Josh Kelly got rated because of a YouTube video. Yeah, what was that channel called? I used to love that channel. What was it called? I forgot what it was called, but it was a really good channel and it got taken down by, you know, copyright and whatnot. Big Boys Boxing, throw Wardley in there with Dubois. Yo, Wardley gets smoked right now, man. I liked what I saw from Wardley, though. You know, for a guy who only had three white collar fights, you know, for that, you know, he looked quite good, but he needs a lot of seasoning, a lot of time, in my opinion. Yeah, I agree, L-Dog. Yeah, he needs more development. Yep. He needs more development. Who would you like to see Felix Cash fight next? I mean, it's hard to say. Maybe I mean, they're talking about Liam Williams. That's not going to happen. I would like to see a fight with Denzel Bentley or Mark Hefferon, but it looks like those guys are going to fight each other. Maybe go for the European title. I think that's Sigani, the Italian dude. Maybe the European title for Felix Cash. I think that'd be a good little step for him. Oh yeah, 168 right now is a wasteland. All of these guys are fucking up. Benavidez is not making weight. Billy Joe's not doing anything. Callum Smith's not doing anything. Caleb Plant's not doing anything. It's a dead division right now. And there's two fights in this division that are easily makeable. Billy Joe versus Callum Smith, both with Matchroom, and Benavidez versus Caleb Plant, both with PBC. None of these fights have happened. Embarrassing. They need to happen, man. They need to happen. They really do. Yeah, I agree, Nathan. Felix Cash, solid prospect, but leaky defense here. David Morrell versus Melekuziev at 168. That's a good fight, I like both guys. I think Melekuziev right now is more advanced, and I think he's actually got a higher ceiling. But I do like what I see from David Morrell. I like his style of fighting. He can stick and move. He can throw combinations. He's got nice body work. He's got a bit of swagger about him. Likes to, clown his opponents. I don't mind David Morrell, actually. He looks quite entertaining. I liked what I saw against Lennox Allen. He looked pretty good, in my opinion. Had a few troubles early on. But, I like David Morrell. I like Melekuziev. But I would definitely, I would favour Melekuziev right now. Yeah, Luke Keeler, that's a good shout for Felix Cash. Yep. Danny Dignam as well, yep. ABC Def, also Dale, as a United fan, if Sancho doesn't happen and United officially pull out, how angry would you be? It depends, I guess, on who we got instead. But, after Sevilla, I think it's obvious we need to really strengthen. And a lot of people are pissed off about that game. I think the fans need to be appeased with like a big sign-in. So I'd be pissed off. But at the same time, if we can get a suitable alternative option, then it is what it is, I guess. Sosa, I wonder if Shannon would have won. Would she have done an IFL interview? Of course. Coogan would have been like chomping at the bit to get in there. Maybe try and take her groin guard as well after the interview. Yeah, big boys, it's certainly worth a bet. I've been thinking the same thing. Chucking a 20 quid on Povetkin. If I do bet on Povetkin, it's going to be by knockout. Sorry, because he's not going to get a decision. Minimax Boxing, he's saying they're going to make Benavidez versus Yildirim for the vacant WBC and Plant versus the winner of Truax Angulo. That's depressing, Minimax. That's very depressing. First and foremost, Benavidez, he doesn't deserve a shot at that title right away. He needs to fight at 168, make the weight, and then after that, then you can go again. But no, the guy can't be ordered, man, to fight for that title again. That's the second time he's lost that belt due to being ill-disciplined. I don't think the WBC should do that, but it's the WBC, so it's more than likely. That happens. Rivas sent White flying across the ring. Povetkin is miles better than Rivas. That's true. That is true. And Povetkin is much better at closing distance. I think he punches harder. He's certainly a better finisher. So Povetkin's more dangerous than Rivas, but it's the gas tank, it's the age, which is what's putting me off Povetkin. That's what it is. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they had some fucking interesting clobber on Povetkin and his team. Yeah, they rolled up in those tracksuits, man. Interesting gear, no doubt about it. Mate, you've hit on, this is from JB Low. Mate, you've hit on something. An independent scorecard review panel community, records of bad scorecards. Yes, but I think something like that would be very beneficial for the sport of boxing, and you could then kind of weed out who the low-performing judges are. If these guys fall into a certain threshold, their license maybe should be taken away. And then they can reapply in a year's time or something like that. But there certainly needs to be more, action taken in regards to bad officiating. And that goes for referees as well, by the way. There certainly needs to be more action. But the only thing with that is there's so many different there's so many different athletic commissions in America. There's so many different sanctioning bodies, it's hard to pull off. That's the thing. But yeah, it is what it is, man. Yeah, Kieran Conway's okay, Nathan. He's not too bad. He's a decent fighter. Yeah. Nav Mansouri gave it a good go, but yeah, he was outsized, like you said. He was outsized. I get so far behind, I get so far behind. L-Dog, Otto Wallin versus Filip Hrgovic. That's a good shout. Very good test for Filip Hrgovic. I'd like that very much. I want to see Filip back in the ring, man. It's been far too long. I want to see this guy fight again. I want to see him fight again because he's stalling right now. Listen, man, I know he said earlier that he doesn't want to fight without a crowd. Man, just get on with it. Even if you can't fight anybody decent, just stay active. Knock over a fucking bum if you have to. Knock over a tomato can. Just keep yourself moving, Keep active. But he's not doing that right now, man. Yo, that is the fight we want to see. Samuel Peter versus David Price. That's what we want to see. We want to see that fight. I think Samuel Peter could still knock out David Price, by the way. Honestly. Canvas Madness. Mate, I've been saying for a while about judging. People always say it's subjective. Well, in my opinion, because it's a clear criteria, it cannot be subjective. Yeah, exactly. That's true. That is very true. And there are certain fights in which are close, could go either way. And sometimes there'll be disagreements. But there are certain fights, right, where it's obvious who wins and they still fuck up. Marinas versus Romero being one of them. I mean, I would like these three judges to all write a statement, clarifying why they scored that fight for Romero, round by round. Tell us what you saw. Why did you score this fight to Romero? Break it down for us, round by round. That's what I would like as well, a proper testimony for why they think Romero won. Because I'm not seeing it. I ain't seeing it. And none of you guys here are seeing it. You know what I mean? But there we go. There we go. What can we say, though? Yeah, I'll big up to Rob. Big up to Rob, man. Yeah, John, I agree. Josh Kelly stinks compared to the hype people gave him. Yeah, when he first turned pro, man, it was crazy. The hype he got was insane. Honestly. I would say he was the most hyped out of the 2016 Olympians from the UK. Josh Kelly was the guy who was being really hyped up. I think the best of the bunch, well, in my opinion, is Joshua Buatsi. I think he's a solid fighter, but he's not been active, man. He's not fought since last August. That was on the Lomachenko-Campbell undercard. So he's been very inactive. He's fighting again in September. So, hopefully he fights someone half decent. But I like Buatsi. But to be honest, the 2016 Olympians from the UK, none of these guys have really done all that much so far, which is a shame, man. It's a shame. Yeah, ABC Defi says, man, Angulo is one of those guys I'll always root for. CTE merchant, but he's great to watch. Yeah, man, he's always good to watch. He can take a beating. He's got a bit of power. Yeah, man, he's a good fighter. That was the channel, Boxing Legends TV. Yep. I'm going to skip forward a little bit, by the way, lads, because I am really far behind in the chat. I'm not sure what I've missed. Matt, he says, this generation of matchroom prospects like Kelly, Cordina, Buatsi all seem to be stagnating. Yeah, it's only Okole that's really doing anything. Yeah, Okole he's the only one who's like on the verge of fighting for a world title. And listen, say what you want about Okole being boring. He is. He's messy to watch. It's ugly to watch. But one thing I'll say for Okole, the guy does want to fight good competition. Fighting the likes of Matty Askin that early in your career, that shows me that you've got ambition and a desire to fight the best. I may not like your style, but I'll give you that credit. He wants to fight the best, so that's fair enough. I just don't enjoy his style. I don't enjoy his fights. Unrivaled said, quit trying to be nice, Del. Beck would clatter Morel. Listen, I think he'd beat him, but I genuinely don't think he's going to steamroll him. I don't think he's going to steamroll him. Yeah, Cordina's not too bad, Nathan. He's a solid boxer. A solid boxer. No doubt. Good technical boxer. Yep, I saw that, John. Apparently, the WBC have been contacted by numerous fighters to fight for that vacant WBC belt. I've seen that, Callum Smith wants to fight for it. Yildirim, well, obviously Yildirim is fighting for it. Canelo wants to fight for it. Benavidez wants to fight for it. Some random Russian dude wants to fight for it. So we'll see who gets to fight for that belt. It's going to be more than likely Canelo. I agree, ABC. Buatsi should be stepping up now. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind someone like Vladislav Shabransky for Buatsi next. I think Shabransky would be a decent test. Shabransky's been around. He's fought for a world title. That's a decent test, in my opinion, for Buatsi. Perfectly acceptable. Harry Kane or Jadon Sancho? Harry Kane. Cavanide. Harry Kane. Harry Kane is proven commodity in the Premier League. Proven goal scorer. I'm going to go Harry Kane. Sean Porter is fighting Saturday versus Sebastian Formela. Only seen Formela once. He beat a good boxer, Fulani Mbenge. Yeah, he beat Mbenge in Germany, the South African dude who could punch a bit. Yeah, that was a good win. I've seen a bit of Formela. He's like an upright boxer, good jab, good solid straight punches, but he doesn't seem to cope with pressure that well. I think Sean Porter's going to dog walk this guy, to be honest with you. I really do. I don't think he's got the strength to really keep Sean Porter at bay. I think Sean is going to be far too aggressive, far too strong, and he's probably going to get him out of there late on in that fight. Formela can box a bit. He's a good European-level fighter, but I can't really see him giving Sean too many problems. It's a solid tune-up fight is what that is. A good comeback fight after a loss. Oh, shit. So rumours here. Josh Kelly's first fight at 154 will be against Michel Soro. Damn, if that's true, Josh Kelly's getting beat. You've heard it here first. Michel Soro will beat Josh Kelly, in my opinion. Soro's a very good fighter. He gave Brian Castano a really hard fight a couple of years ago. That's a hell of a step up right there. I would forgive the Avanesian Duck if he fights Michel Soro, because I think that's an even harder fight, to be honest. I think that's an even harder fight. Matt, he says he can't say he's massively impressed by Caleb Plant. Looks like a fringe world-level guy who's managed to get a belt. Yeah, I see a lot of people out there who rate Caleb Plant extremely highly. I'll be honest, I think he's a good technical boxer. I do think he's world level, but I'm still not sold, man. I'm not sold on his gas tank for a start. I mean, against Medina, against Uskatigi, late on in those fights, the guy did kind of flag, and he was getting touched up. He was getting caught against these guys late on. That's why I think Benavidez beats him. Benavidez is a big fucking lump who's got power, high output. I think David Benavidez would actually stop Caleb Plant late on. I think he would break him down, stop him late. He would more than likely outbox Benavidez early on, but Benavidez would get to him, trust me. I guarantee you Benavidez would beat Caleb Plant. I'm willing to bet anybody on that. If it ever happens, that is. If that fight happens, I'm willing to bet that Benavidez wins. I'm willing to bet. So Benavidez might have been instructed to miss weight. Interesting. Plant is rumoured to fight Lionel Thompson next, then the Angulo Truax winner. Oh, God, Nathan coming in here with those negative fights, man. Yeah, I don't want to see any of those, mate, to be honest. I don't want to see any of those. I don't want to see any of those. ABC Def, I don't want to be disrespectful or out, but the Turkish Yildirim fans are so delusional. Same with the football fans. Yep. I noticed that in the Chris Eubank Jr. fight, they were really up for that one, and he got fucking smoked. Fucking Eubank Jr. went over there and done him in, man. That was Eubank's best performance that night. He looked great, smashing up Avni Yildirim. Did a much better job than Anthony Durrell did. He looked great against Avni Yildirim. Avni Yildirim reminds me of Arthur Abraham. He's like a poor man's Arthur Abraham. High guard, comes forwards, hard punches, a good jab, but he's not as good as Arthur Abraham. No way. Look at Denzel, man. I know that's a fake account. Denzel. Jesus. I liked your movie, Training Day, by the way. Very good movie. Cavanide. David Silva doesn't deserve a statue over Yaya Toure. Yaya Toure in his prime was so fucking good. I can say that as a United fan. That guy was so good. Used to hate playing against that guy, Yaya Toure, when he was at his best. Guy was a fucking tank. He could really do it all, man. He could defend pretty well. Decent technical player, score goals, powerhouse. That guy was a great player, man. That guy was a great player. Excellent player, man. Man City need to build a Wilfred Boney statue. Facts. Yeah, big up to Apology Man. Big up to Apology Man. I see you, Apology. I see you. Where we at, man? Where we at? Yildirim's VA side. Facts. Yep. Yildirim is bringing that Turkish money to the equation. Facts. Okay. Fuck me. Where am I at? Okay, so Joshua Buatsi versus Dudu and Gumbu's the rumoured fight, but I'm not sure how true that rumour is. Dudu and Gumbu, man, I mean, doesn't fill me with any excitement whatsoever, to be honest, Boxing Virus. Really doesn't. But yeah, big up to Apology. Big up to Apology. Yeah, Isaac Chamberlain's fighting this weekend, I believe. I think it's this weekend. But yeah, you're right. He's too big for 175, but too small for cruiserweight. It's unfortunate. Yeah, I like Isaac Chamberlain as a person. He comes across really well, but there's something about that guy that doesn't really convince me. You know, I don't think he's got that mean streak that's really going to take him to that next level. He's going to be a good domestic fighter, but yeah, I don't see him going much beyond that. Maybe he could get to Euro level. Yeah, big up to John Gonzalez, by the way, for the super chat. Big up to John Gonzalez, man. My main man, John Gonzalez. BDA family, salute. Salute. Yeah, Michelle Sorrow, he's stopping Kelly. No, maybe not stopping him, but he'll beat him, in my opinion. But yeah, big up to John Gonzalez, man. Big up to John. Yeah, Kavanagh, he says, Kane is the second or third best striker in the world behind Benzema and Lewandowski. He's certainly behind Lewandowski, to be honest. Yeah, I would say that's about right, mate, to be honest. I'd say that's about right. Yeah, Minimax. Do you know what, mate? I forgot about Gennady Golovkin versus Kamil Sesmaretta. I totally forgot about that fight. It's been that long. You know, it's been in talks that long. No clue when that is. No clue when Yusuf Chisora is. No clue when Kelly Avanesian is. Apparently that's now off, by the way. And no clue when Joshua Pulev is. They need to get these fights sorted, signed and done. They need to get these fights done. Okay, so David Silva's gone to Real Sociedad. Interesting. Yeah, Apology. I see, but I think David Benavidez is a very good fighter, man. He's got flaws, don't get me wrong, but his main problem right now is his discipline. It's for discipline, you know. If he can get that sorted, I think that guy is going to be very hard to beat. I watched that fight with what's his face, Angulo, and when he was on the ropes, when Benavidez was on the ropes, he was doing extremely well defending on the ropes, man. Did you see how he was lowering and raising his guard as Angulo would change levels with his shots? How he was catching the shots? That was very impressive, man. He was leaning back on the ropes and doing some good stuff in there. And the guy's jab is underrated, mate. Benavidez's jab is very underrated. I think Benavidez has a lot of raw potential. And if he could hone that, I think that guy's going to go a very long way. But, you know, again, it's the discipline issue, isn't it? It's for discipline. If he can stay disciplined, then I think that guy is going to go a very long way. I really do. Okay, yeah, Chamberlain's on Channel 5. Yeah, that's headlined by Craig Richards and Sugden, I believe, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you're right. Nathan, Yildirim might be Eubank's best win in terms of both how he did it on paper. You know, it's De Gale and Abraham, but both were, yeah, exactly, yeah. So De Gale and Abraham, they're his best wins in terms of name value, but both guys were kind of shot. Yeah, maybe Yildirim is his best win. Maybe Yildirim's his best win. Yeah, big up to G-Man. Big up to G-Man. I still need to check your Patreon out, mate. I need to check yours out and Boxing Squared. I keep on meaning to do it, man, but I'll check it out, man. I'll check it out. But he says Benavidez was very good on the ropes. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, but it's for discipline, G-man. It's for discipline. That's what it is. If he can get the discipline sorted, keep the weight off, and stay out of don't take cocaine, he'll be okay. Canvas Madness, Benavidez versus Eubank Jr. will be an all-time great war. Yeah, there's no way that could be a bad fight. No way at all. Eubank would have his moments, but I think Benavidez would be far too big for him, to be honest. He'd be far too big. He's got similar attributes to Chris Eubank Jr., but in my opinion, he's technically better and he's bigger. So I would take Benavidez to win that fight confidently. But, it's going to be competitive. It'll be competitive. Yeah, by the way, big up to Official Scorecard Boxing. Or Official Scorecard Boxing Science, I should say. Regis Progress looks like he can make 135. Yeah, he's not a tall guy at all. I think 140 is perfect for him, to be honest. But right now, it's getting the fights. He was supposed to fight Maurice Hooker, but Maurice Hooker pulled out of that one, unfortunately. That would have been a pretty good fight. It's getting a fight for him now. He wants to fight, but, there's no opponents right now. So I'm really I'm eager to see Prograis back in the ring. I really like his style, man. I loved watching Prograis fight. How he kind of transitions from defense to offense, the power, the combinations. He's a very good fighter, man. The head movement, he can fight in a variety of different styles. He can come forwards. He can go backwards. Prograis is a very, very versatile fighter. A very good fighter, man, Regis Prograis. And by the way, we're talking about shit rematches like Wilder Fury 3 that nobody wants to see. One rematch I do want to see down the line is Taylor versus Prograis 2. I really want to see that rematch because that first fight, man, was absolutely outstanding. An amazing fight. Amazing fight, man. Yeah, man. It's hard to stay away from the white lady. Yeah, Benavidez, man, he's having that problem right now. He's struggling to stay away. Oh, shit. Damien Armstrong. What kind of an LDBC name is that? Damien. Benavidez should move to 175 and fight Kovalev. Yeah, Benavidez. I think Benavidez, man. I think right now he's not ready for 175, to be honest. I think there's too many killers right there. I think he needs to stay at 168 for now. But in the long run, he'll definitely be at 175. Definitely. He'll definitely be at 175. Prograis versus Jose Ramirez, who would win? In my opinion, Prograis beats Ramirez. I just see Prograis as more multi-dimensional. I think he hits harder. All round, just a better fighter. But Ramirez is not an easy fight. It'll be a very tough fight, but I would take Prograis to beat Ramirez. Yeah, that is true, Yeah, Prograis, yeah. He did struggle, actually, to make weight for Taylor, yeah. But he doesn't look that big, The guy never looks ripped, does he, Prograis? He never looks ripped. Just that kind of build. But he's a very good fighter, man. He's a very good fighter. Yeah, exactly, Canvas, yeah. Go twerk somewhere else. Or watch Deontay twerk. Watch that on loop. That'll keep you entertained for a while. These guys, man, these guys. Yeah, that was an insane fight, Official. That was one of my favourite fights from last year. To be honest with you, I'm not sure what I enjoyed more. Inoue versus Donaire or Prograis versus Ramirez. I'm not sure what I enjoyed more. Not sure, but both very good fights. Both very good fights. No worries, JB Low, man. No worries at all. No worries at all, man. Does Marco Hook destroy Dennis Lewandowski, or does he labour to a win? He'll destroy Dennis Lewandowski. Was that the guy Fabio Wardley fought, that big fat guy? I think that was him. If it's him, yeah, Marco Hook should destroy him, to be honest. How did you score the Prograis Taylor fight? I had it 7-5 to Prograis. I had it 7-5 to Taylor. But to be honest, I could see a point either way. I could see a draw. Just one of those fights, in my opinion. Very close. I think you could have conceivably give it either way. You could have give it either way. Oh, I saw that, G-Man. I saw that on Twitter. Yep. Russell Jr. saying that Al Heyman made Crawford an offer to fight Russell. Well, Al Heyman, mate, if you're making fucking... Listen, we don't want to hit... We make fucking Crawford an offer to fight Errol Spence. That's what we want to see. Gary Russell Jr. Jesus Christ. That guy would... How many weight classes would he move up to fight Crawford? 4 weight classes? Jesus Christ. Can you imagine? Can you imagine that? Like the scenes when Gary Russell gets on the scales at 147. Jesus Christ. Jesus. Oh, interesting for the UFC heads out there. John Jones just vacated the light heavyweight title. So he's actually serious about going to heavyweight. Interesting. That's interesting, you know. I mean, I think Francis Ngannou, he deserves his shot first at Stipe. You know, I would have Stipe versus Ngannou 2. Maybe John Jones versus a heavyweight on the undercard, and then have the winners fight each other. But yeah, John Jones at heavyweight, man, that's going to be very interesting. That's going to be very interesting. I think he'll carry the weight fine. You know, he's like 6'4", 6'5", whatever he is. I think he'll be fine, to be honest. I think he'll be fine. Yeah, Al Heyman must hate Russell. Yeah, what it is though. I think Gary Russell is just expendable. You know, Gary Russell doesn't make Al Heyman any money. He's never going to be on pay-per-view. You know, why not try and get Crawford over to make some money? I guess I don't know what it is, man. But yeah, Gary Russell's career is going nowhere. That's the reason he's calling out Terence Crawford. Sorry, he knows his career is going nowhere. He needs to make some sort of buzz, some sort of controversy to get people interested because, you know, this is a guy who fights once a year. And usually he's not fighting great competition. So, yeah, Gary Russell's career right now is going nowhere. I think that's why he's acting up. Andre, he says, Dell, in all honesty, I'd like to see Stipe retire. He's got nothing to prove. He's beat everybody. Why risk losing his eye? Yeah, that's true, you know. Yeah, I believe he had surgery on his retina or something like that. So you're right, you know. Might be too much of a risk for Stipe. But, you know, that guy looked very good, in my opinion, against Cormier. I thought he boxed quite well. You know, he neutralized Cormier quite effectively. So, yeah, man. Stipe can carry on. But at the same time, if he retired tomorrow, he certainly goes down as the greatest UFC heavyweight champion. And, yeah, that's a hell of a legacy to leave. So, yeah, once a year at best with Gary Russell. Yep. Once a year at best. So, yeah, if Gary Russell moved up, he'd be going up 4 weight classes to fight Terence Crawford. Who wins in the tournament at 154? I'd edge either Castano or Rosario. Interesting. Do you know who I would edge? Jamel Charlo at 154. I think Jamel Charlo, when it's all said and done, if everybody fought each other, I think Jamel Charlo would be the last man standing, believe it or not. I think Jamel Charlo against Rosario, I think he can beat him in either... Like, if it's a boxing match, I think he beats Rosario. I think he outboxes him. If it's a street fight, I think he knocks out Rosario. I honestly believe that. I think he wins either way, whether it's a brawl or a boxing match. I think he beats Rosario. I'm convinced he beats Teixeira. You know, I think he'd beat Castano, but I think Castano would be a hard fight. Yeah, I think Jamel Charlo is the best guy at 154. I think he is. I think he's the best guy there, to be honest. I know Rosario right now has more belts, but in terms of head-to-head, I'd be backing Jamel Charlo. But I like Jamel Charlo more than most people do, to be honest. That's an interesting topic, actually. What are fighters that, you know, the general... What unpopular fighters do you like? So I would say Jamel Charlo is unpopular. I like Jamel Charlo, for example. That's one of my unpopular fighters that I like. What about you guys? Are there any unpopular fighters that you actually like watching fight? Mine is definitely Jamel Charlo in that sense. Mine's definitely Jamel Charlo. Oh yeah, Gary Russell smoking some good shit, no doubt about it. And that shit's going to hit that guy hard because he's only a midget, you know. So yeah. Damn, you think Gary Russell could go the distance with Crawford? I think that guy's going to get fucking levered, to be honest. Yeah, we got Prince Patel here, man. We got Prince Patel. I hope that's the real one, you know. John Jones is past his prime, went life and death with Reyes and Santos. He's going for heavyweight for the paycheck. Yeah, maybe. Maybe you're right, Prince. Maybe you're right. To be honest with you, Prince, I actually felt he beat Santos, but I felt he lost to Reyes. I felt Reyes was the only fight John Jones ever lost. So the Gustafsson first fight, I felt he genuinely won. I felt he beat Santos as well, but I felt he lost to Reyes. And obviously he got disqualified against, was it Matt Hamill years ago? But yeah, I think Reyes was the only fight John Jones genuinely lost. I think people go over the top when they talk about Gustafsson as a robbery and Santos as a robbery. They were close fights. They were close fights. Have you seen much of Gary Russell brothers, both prospects? No, I've not seen much of them, to be honest, Nathan. I've not seen much of them. I've seen a couple of their fights on PBC undercards, but I never really took it in kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? I never really paid all that much attention. Oh, yeah, I heard about that. Both Charlo brothers beefing with each other. Maybe these guys could fight. Maybe these guys could fight. The Charlo bros fighting. Yeah, so Charlo's are funny for me, you know, because I like Jamel, but I don't like Jamal. And it's only really because Jamel actually fights people. And you know, for the most part, he's been quite entertaining. You know, that rematch with Tony Harrison was a very good fight. What he did to Erickson Lubin was scintillating, you know, knocking that guy clean out when a lot of people, I know people don't like to admit it in hindsight, but a lot of people back then were picking Erickson Lubin to beat Jamel Charlo. He knocked him out. He beat Austin Trout. You know, he beat Martirosyan. You know, the guy's got some solid names on the resume. The John Jackson fight was a good fight. You know, come from behind knockout. You know, I'm not saying Jamel Charlo's got like a murderer's row resume, but his resume is not bad. And he's pretty fun to watch, to be honest. He's pretty fun to watch, in my opinion, at least. In my opinion. That's a good shout, MB. Adonis Stevenson, absolute cunts, but a quality fighter. Yep, that's a good shout. That's a good shout. That is a good shout. Official scorecard boxing. Mine might be Canelo. I enjoy watching him, but hate his protective diva shit. Yeah, that's a good shout as well, official. In terms of Canelo, right? When you watch that guy fight, he does things in the ring that are just beautiful to watch. You know, the combinations, the fluidity of his work, the counter punching, you know, his head movement, his defense. He does things in there that are, you know, world level, pound for pound quality. But then you fucking remember all the politics that comes with Canelo fights. So yeah, Canelo's a really good shout. Canelo's a really good shout. Nathan, he likes both Charlos, both great to watch. Yeah, I like Jamal, not so much of a fan. However, you know, the Derevyanchenko fight, you know, that's a fight I'm really interested in. So I'm on board. I'm on board with him in his next fight. Put it that way. Prince Patel, he says, I battered Coogan and his legs went. Sorry, I battered Coogan and his legs when the camera was turned off. Comments, for fuck's sake. Oh shit! Yeah, I've heard about Charlo's new YouTube channel. Yeah, I've not checked it out, to be fair. Probably not my type of content, to be honest. Yeah, that's how I had it. ABC Def. Yeah, that's how I had it. Although, to be fair, ABC, the first two rounds were clear Reyes rounds. To be honest, was the third round close? I thought it was quite close. So I can see where someone might score it to Jones. But to be honest, I felt Reyes won. To be honest, I felt Reyes won. Nathan, he likes Joe Joyce. I find him okay to watch, but most don't like him. Yeah, Joe Joyce is a weird one. I like watching the guy fight, to be honest. He's kind of fun to watch. A bit of a destroyer, you know. I hope it is the real Prince Patel. That'd be amazing. That'd be amazing. Oh shit. Who wins this tournament? Kenshiro versus Felix Alvarado, Kayaguchi versus Soto, winners face off. So I'm going to take Alvarado, Felix Alvarado. I'm taking Felix Alvarado. Elwin Soto, though, could be the dark horse there, you know. All of those are good fighters. Kenshiro's the one I rate the least, Minimax, out of all of those guys you mentioned there. Kenshiro's the one I sort of rate the least. Still a good fighter, though. Still a good fighter. Oh, Andre. Yeah, no doubt, Andre. Yeah, no doubt. Texas, man. What was that referee? Lawrence Cole, man. One of the worst referees I've ever seen. Awful referee, man. And yeah, Texas, man. The judging in Texas has been dodgy. You know. Yes, sir. Team Pricey. That's what we're talking about, John Gonzalez. Team Pricey. Yes, sir. Big David Price. He's doing it for all the plumbers out there, man. The big stiff idiot. No, I like David Price, you know. Listen, I'm always going to watch David Price fight because the guy usually, you know, he gets knocked out. So, and his knockouts are always fun to watch as well. They're always brutal, man. Like the Povetkin knockout was like something out of Mortal Kombat. That was fucking brutal. The Erkan fight, when he got left hooked in that fight, that was brutal. The Tony Thompson KOs were pretty funny as well. The Christian Hammer fight was entertaining. Yeah, man, David Price, man. The guy is must-watch TV. He really is. He really is. Yeah, big up to Intangible Boxing News, man. Big up to Intangible. Yeah, I agree, Nathan. I think Otto Wallin could beat guys like Brazil and Hellenius. Yeah, I think those are the sort of fights that he needs next. You know, a Dominic Brazil, Robert Hellenius, Charles Martin. You know, these sort of guys. That'll be pretty good fights for him at this stage. Where is Pricey these days? Working for British Gas more than likely. I've got no idea, mate, to be honest, Prince Patel. Got no idea. I don't think he's retiring. Kavanagh, if Price didn't have a glass chin, Frank Maloney wouldn't have chopped his cock off. Exactly, yeah. Exactly. Jesus. David Price has got a lot to answer for, man. See, the Quags, I disagree, you know. I disagree. David Price's chin, right? His chin is so bad that it almost saves him from unnecessary punishment. He gets knocked out so quick that he'd saved himself from a beating. And usually, it's the beatings that, you know, really affect a fighter. So maybe the fact that David Price has such a bad chin is actually helping him at this stage. You know? Maybe it's helping him. Who knows, man? Who knows? John Gonzalez, he really does like David Price, not ironically. To be fair to you, mate, I don't mind David Price. As a person, he comes across quite well, you know. He comes across well. Seems like a good guy. And he is fun to watch, man. He is fun to watch. So what can we say? Yeah. Abstract boxing and stuff. Big up to Abstract Boxing, man. Been a long, long time, bro. Been a long time. Hopefully you're doing well, mate. Hopefully you're doing well. Yeah, the Povetkin one was comedy gold. He was out on his feet and looked like he dropped a tenner on the floor and was looking for it. Yeah, exactly. He got fucking leveled, mate. He got leveled. Oh, man. Now, this is a really good fight, Andre. Luis Neri versus Danny Roman. Who wins? I would like to say Danny Roman because I do like Roman and I don't like Luis Neri. But I think Neri could be too strong, too powerful. I think maybe Neri on points. Neri might be a bit too powerful, maybe overwhelms him in that fight. But it's competitive. But I think I would go with Neri. Neri on points, I would say. It's a good fight, though. Yeah, that is true, Apology. That is true. Yep, Tyson Fury did duck David Price way back when. That is true. That is true. Oh, that was hilarious. Yeah, when Amir Khan called... So, yeah, Amir Khan called Caitlyn Jenner Bruce. That guy is so funny when he doesn't try to be. Yeah, exactly. Oh, shit. Yeah, I'd take that Intangible. I would take that. Dave Allen should be Jalalov's pro debut. Technically, he's already had pro fights, to be fair. But, yeah, chuck Dave Allen in there with Bakadir Jalalov. I'm more than happy. I will watch that fight with glee, anticipation, and a bloodlust. No, I'm joking. But yeah, I'd watch that fight. Dave Allen versus James Toney for the CTE world title. For fuck's sake. Oh, shit. James Toney, even now, maybe he could take rounds from Dave Allen. Maybe. I'll tell you what, James Toney now is going to be more active than Dave Allen. Jesus Christ. No, I've not seen that Cop End 09. I've not seen the Fury Price amateur fight. I've not seen it. The only clip I saw of that fight years ago was when Fury dropped Price in the amateurs. That's all I saw of that fight. I've not seen the full fight. I might watch it, you know. I might give it a watch. David Price looked exactly like Marvis Fraser after the Tyson tried to kill him. Yeah. Man. Yeah, big up to Abstract Boxing, by the way. Kevin Ide, he would bet his life savings on James Toney against Dave Allen. Fucking hell. Yeah. Madness, man. It's madness. What's going on, man? Yeah, Inoue versus Jason Maloney's next, apparently. I like Maloney, but he's got no chance against Inoue. Yeah. Jason Maloney's like, I would say he's like a fringe top 10 level guy. I think he's Ring Magazine rated, so he's top 10 level, but he doesn't have enough for Inoue. You know, he doesn't have enough, mate. Inoue's going to break him down, probably knock him out in 3 or 4 rounds, I would say. Yo, big up to Abstract, man. Big up, man. Yo, Abstract, by the way, have you heard from Boxing Gossip out of interest? Is he doing okay? Because I've obviously, yeah, he's been kind of he vanished from the scene a while ago, man. Your podcast you guys did was fucking amazing back in the day. That was amazing, you know. Listen here, you plumber from Liverpool. Yeah, that was jokes. You're going to need 10 plumbers when I got finished with you. Are you still MIA, man? Ah, okay. Put the camera down, Cougs. Tony Bellew, man, the disappearing man. He just wants to be left alone. He wants to be left alone. Tony Bellew. Oh dear. Ah, okay. Yeah, I know. Ultra and Boxing Gossip were they were pretty tight. I remember when Boxing Gossip and Ultra did a show years ago together. I think that was on Ultra's old channel, maybe. And yeah, they had some great content when they did videos together. They really did. Yeah, big up to Guilty Simpson, man. Big up to Guilty Simpson. Hopefully you're doing well, bro. Hopefully you're doing well, man. Yeah, Boxing Gossip was great, man. Boxing Gossip was great. And it was a great panel on that podcast. You know, Abstract, Sherry, Abstract, yeah. Abstract, Tom, Sherry. There's another guy as well. I forgot his name. Now. Fuck me. Yeah, Price when he was an amateur had a jab. No idea what happened to it when he turned pro. Yeah, yeah. I could watch David Price knockouts on repeat though. To be honest, honestly. Fowler versus current Khan at 154. Who wins? Oh, Anthony Fowler knocks out Khan these days. You know, he knocks out Khan. Yeah, that's a good fight, Andre. Felix Verdejo versus Richard Comey. That's a good fight. I think that's a good step up for Verdejo. Do you know what, though? I'd pick Comey to beat Felix. I'd pick Comey to beat him, to be honest with you. Good fight, though. That's a solid fight, actually. That's a solid fight, you know. Yes, sir. Hit the like. Facts. Smash the like. Big up to Johnny Boy, by the way. Check out Johnny Boy's channel, by the way, lads. Johnny Boy's got a boxing channel. Definitely give him a check out, man. Excellent stuff, man. Excellent stuff, bruh. Fuck me, I'm all over the gaff here. Comey sleeps Queen Ryan Garcia. I think that's a good fight, you know, Johnny. I just want to see Ryan versus Luke Campbell. Apparently that fight's still in talks. Fucking old Eddie Hearn is saying that fight could be in the UK. Whether that's true or not, fuck knows. I don't care where it is, to be honest. That just needs to happen. You know, we've heard the hype from Ryan Garcia. It needs to be proven now. He needs that acid test. Luke Campbell is exactly that. If Ryan Garcia is a hype job, he will lose. If he's got anything about him and he's world class, he could win. So we're going to find out exactly how good Ryan Garcia is if he takes that fight, and we shall see. Time will tell. Time will tell. I don't like Ryan Garcia personally as a personality. I guess I don't really like the guy, but I do think he's got some talent there. But we'll see, man. We'll see. Yeah, MB. Yeah, I'm not convinced Golden Boy are all that keen on that fight, to be honest. I'm not convinced. It almost looks like they're planning to price themselves out. Or like they'll say to the media, oh, the money wasn't there, the money wasn't enough and we'll go a different route. That's what it kind of feels like to me. Hopefully I'm wrong because I really like that fight. I want to see that fight. ABC Def, he thinks Luke beats him down. Ryan is still so raw. He's had a few wins against average fighters. He's not been tested over 12 rounds. That is true. Yeah, that is true. That is true. Yeah, I thought Jet was okay, real deal. Jet was okay. I like Jet. Yeah, Irish Tom was fucking hilarious, man. His rants were amazing. He was like the anti-matchroom guy on the channel, wasn't he? He was fucking amazing. Oh shit. That was funny, That's funny. Yeah, Garcia Campbell's very tough, Nathan. I think that's a hard fight to call. I really do. I mean, Luke Campbell could old man Ryan Garcia. He really could. But, Luke Campbell, man, he's got his flaws. He's got his flaws. So we'll see, man. We'll see. Yeah, this is a sick weekend overhand. Listen, man, I'm going to make sure I've got this weekend off in terms of going out. I'm going to stay in this weekend and watch these fights. I want to watch all of these fights, I want to watch all of these fights, yeah. Joe Smith versus Lydia Alvarez. That's a sick fight. Obviously, White Povetkin. Some good fights this weekend. Some sick fights, Anyway, lads, I'm going to wrap this one up. Anyway, yeah. What's the time? Yeah, 10 to 11. Yeah, I'm going to wrap this one up, lads. Smash the like on the way out, boys. We're gonna wrap this one up. Probably do a live stream, maybe after this weekend's boxing, maybe on Sunday. But yeah, man. Peace.